After the local government elections, we turn to the independence referendum campaign, and to lead us is our fantastic campaign director for the independence referendum campaign. Please welcome Angus Robertson, MP.
Thank you very much, Derek. It's a tremendous honour to be here at the second SNP conference to update you all on the preparations for the independence referendum campaign. Since last year, we've been working together in the referendum campaign committee, bringing together the very same key people who worked on the successful 2007 and 2011 parliamentary campaigns. We're using the very same professional approach to running a positive and optimistic campaign as we did in those two elections. Our mission statement, agreed by the National Executive Committee and our colleagues in the Scottish Government, is as follows. That we are launching a massive engagement exercise with Scottish society, both individually and sectorally, to identify supporters, opponents and waverers, and use every means at the disposal of the SNP to raise confidence, optimism and understanding of the independence case. This needs to be a campaign of unprecedented mobilisation and communication by the SNP. It must start immediately to maximise our advantage and secure victory. And as you all know, we are already up and running, working to that mission statement. There are 4 key concrete steps in the roadmap to delivering a successful outcome. Firstly, we're already galvanising and motivating our members and supporters. Secondly, we are planning for the Yes campaign to work with the many supporters of independence with no party affiliation and in other parties. Thirdly, we're already engaging with different sectors of society to raise confidence, optimism and understanding of the independence case. And fourthly, we are already reaching out within our communities, door by door, street by street, in the most unprecedented campaign of mobilisation and communication by the SNP and in the history of Scottish politics. Step 1 in the process has been to galvanise and motivate SNP members. I have to confess, this has not been particularly challenging. In case anybody has been oblivious to recent developments, our membership is going up massively, our motivation is extremely high, as is our morale. This has been obvious as we host special meetings with record attendances. In recent months, the Independence Roadshow has been travelling to the 4 corners of Scotland. Derek Mackay, who is directing the local government campaign, and I have attended more than 20 events to brief members on the independence referendum and the local government campaign. The only condition to hosting constituencies about the PowerPoint presentation is the provision of a screen in the venue. This was taken very literally in Aberdeen, where the Roadshow organised a multiplex cinema as a venue. It was a screen that was even bigger than this one. We've held subsequent events in hotels and public halls, in churches, schools, a university, a theatre and an SPL stadium. Locations for the Roadshow have taken us from Elgin to Aberdeen, to Aberdeenshire, to Dundee, to Angus, to Stirling, to Perthshire, to Edinburgh, to West Lothian, to Motherwell, to East Kilbride, to Kilmarnock, to Ayr, to Glasgow, to Strathkelvin, Bearsden and to Oban. There have been events in the Western Isles and Cumbernauld, and we have planned events for East Lothian and Mid Lothian, Fife, Galloway, the Mearns, Dumbartonshire and Caithness and Sutherland. There will be more to follow. So far we've travelled more than 3,000 miles and we've spoken to more than 2,000 people. The turnout at the meetings has been phenomenal, including many members who have literally just joined and many who have never been active or have not been involved for a long time. Any of you who've been to the events will attest to the amazing turnouts, the positivity and the sense of purpose. It's an opportunity to get a full briefing on progress and, just as importantly for us involved in the campaign committee, the feedback from so many people with suggestions and observations. For those of you who've not yet been to one, I'll give you a quick insight. In the presentation, we have a run-through of all the work we've been doing since the Scottish Parliament elections last year. This includes an understanding of the groundswell phenomenon in the electorate in 2011, which took us to 45% of the vote. And we will need in 2014 to take the yes vote past 50%. There's a reminder of how the public prefers a positive and optimistic approach and rejects grinding negativity from our opponents. We won in 2007 and 2011 in large part because the electorate warmed to the upbeat message of its time and team record and vision. We also stressed the importance of language and tone. This independence debate and campaign is exciting, it is historic, it is transformative, and confidence and optimism will grow as we communicate in these terms. This is about a better future for all in this country and for decades to come. It's about the future, not the past. We do learn from the past, but we are fixed on the future and the positive opportunities we wish to secure for all. On the roadshow, we go on to share an understanding of the detailed research we've been undertaking since last year. Following multiple tranches of qualitative and quantitative research, we understand that the Scottish public is in listening mode, and it does want to be persuaded. Many genuinely undecided voters want to be able to vote yes. They have queries about issues that matter to them, and when they are satisfied, they will vote yes. We understand the simple truth that resonates with voters, namely that it is fundamentally better for all of us if decisions about Scotland's future are taken by the people who care most about Scotland, that is, by the people of Scotland. It is the people who live here who will do the best job of making our nation a fairer and more successful place. And you will appreciate that a big stress in this message is that it is all of the people of Scotland. This is an inclusive message for an inclusive Scotland. It is for all people who call Scotland home. One thing that is striking from the roadshow is the great many people, the great many SNP members who have come to Scotland from elsewhere. This is something which makes me extremely proud. I know it's a source of pride to the SNP as a whole. Independence is for everyone in Scotland, regardless of origin, creed, colour or religion. Now, to give you an insight into the organisation and impact of a roadshow event, I'd like to invite the host of the last and most recent roadshow, that was last Friday in East Kilbride, Linda Fabiani, MSP, to the stage. Linda.
Morning, conference. You know, back in 97, 98, 99, when I was campaigning, Ian Hamilton QC gave me a bit of advice, which was take all the empty seats out the room, put them outside the door, and then tell the local paper that there was not an empty seat in the room when Linda Fabiani spoke. Well, let me tell you, on Friday night in East Kilbride, when we had our South Lanarkshire constituencies for the roadshow, we didn't have to do that. Because not only were there no empty seats, there were people standing along at the back. And when Ant and Dec of the SNP arrived in East Kilbride, it was to great acclaim. And I have to say to you, I have to say to you that the excitement in that room, as I said that night, I never thought for a minute Angus Robertson would ever make me quite so excited as he did on Friday night. So well done, Angus. The excitement in that room was palpable because there was that recognition that all these years, all that hard work, this was real. And here we were on the verge of what we have all believed for so long is best for our country, namely that those who live in this country are best placed to make the decisions for this country. And we're on the way, and that is very, very special for every single one of us. The presentation was marvellous. If any of you have not managed along to one in your own area, what I would say to you is pull out all the stops, get there somewhere. Train, boat, plane, get there and listen to it because it is truly inspiring. But it's all very well going along one night and saying, I feel truly inspired, I feel really excited. The hard work is there as well. And the planning is so important. One thing about that presentation you will see is the professionalism, the planning of it. Now, we all have to be professional in this. We all have to move forward, take people with us, get that groundswell that is required. So there's work to be done, there's planning to be done. In East Kilbride, you know, Friday night we heard from our member Dougie Malloy about how he intended to motivate the elderly that he deals with through the Elderly Forum there. We heard from Conor McGregor, one of our youngest and newest members, about how he intends to speak to all his age group. That's what we have to do. Get a team together that know how to tap into the different communities, that know how to reach people. Work with the branch executive, work with the independence referendum team, take all these skills in, and skills we have aplenty. That's how we have to move forward. Just to close, as I was driving in there, knowing that Angus was panicking because I was late as usual, and I'm sorry about that, there was an old song on the radio, and it really struck home. Serendipity, it happens sometimes. An old song, I think a lot of you in this room will remember it. It was, accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. I'm not going to sing it, you'll be glad to know. But it absolutely summed it up for me. So let's be positive, let's move forward with the realisation that before too long we are going to have an independent Scotland. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Linda. So if you have yet to have a local roadshow event, please get in touch with SNP headquarters. They're managing the busy diarying, planning and the logistics. The intention is to keep the roadshow going all the way to the referendum. It's an excellent way of updating SNP members and in the near future updating all Yes campaign supporters. Moving on from the roadshow and our positive and persuasive message, I'd next like to update you on the excellent campaign materials that are available. I think a number of you have been given them on the way into the halls. If not, there are bags with copies of the campaign materials that you can collect on the way out. In recent months, there have been great materials going out around the country explaining the ambition and detail of the independence message. Since last October, hundreds of thousands, literally hundreds of thousands, of the large format and the smaller format, Your Scotland, Your Future publication have been distributed. And this conference we have provided a further suite of materials updated and informed by our voter research. Firstly, there is a detailed choices document which explains the timescale of independence, the process of independence, the firm economic foundation for Scotland, the benefits of independence, the challenges and opportunities, what independence will look like, including the much valued social union with our friends and neighbours, and 10 key facts and messages for friends and family. The document explains the key milestones, including the referendum bill, the white paper on independence, the prospectus, which will give the electorate the detailed case, the referendum process itself, the talks that will follow a yes vote, with the 2016 elections being the first for an independent Scotland. I like that. I quite like that. With the 2016 elections being the first for an independent Scotland. Secondly, amongst the new suite of materials, we have choices, the questions and answers, and this helps undecided voters understand the exciting prospect of independence. There are different sections, why independence is the best option, the advantages for the economy and jobs, benefits for individuals and families, affordability, being the right size for independence, currency continuity, pensions guarantee, the head of state, dealing with financial challenges, better banking, best defence options, protecting public services, the transition to independence, how we can govern ourselves, and how we will work with other nations. And in a new innovation, this key information is also available through iBooks with app functionality. So if you are out and about, if you need some information about the independence process, the facts, the arguments, you can access that at any time and share with others. In addition, just in case you didn't think all of that was enough, there's a handy to-do list to focus our efforts. How best to communicate the case at home, at work, when you are out and about. There are specific suggestions on how best to communicate, by leafleting your street perhaps, by writing letters to the local or national media, by taking part in radio phone-ins, by sharing materials available from the SNP website. There are also suggestions about how we can boost finances. We never miss that in the SNP. We can, of course, donate online. We can subscribe to the Excellent Independence magazine. Hands up, anybody who does not subscribe to the Excellent Independence magazine? Oh, nobody's got their hands up. Good. So we're encouraging other people to subscribe to Independence magazine. There is also a new special recruitment leaflet. As you all know, our membership is up tremendously. We need to keep that going. This is one of the ways of doing that. And of course, we can do that using social networking through Twitter and Facebook. It's one of the routes, one of the reasons we believe that membership has been going up so much, because it is so easy to do online. And being joined up, we also have a special local government election card highlighting key themes on the reverse side on record council tax freezes, building for recovery, supporting local business, education and training, protecting police numbers and communities. Over this conference weekend, we have seen more than 1.5 million copies of these materials be collected from behind the headquarters desk. 1.5 million pieces of information. And I'm sorry to confirm that some of you haven't even collected yours, and we're going to have to print some more. So if you haven't already got an allocation, please get in touch with headquarters, and you will be provided with copies of all those materials. Now, in addition, behind the screen, I don't know if you've noticed, there have also been hundreds of thousands of addressed local government election postal vote communications, which you've also been collecting. Many thanks for that. And having a continuing support materials is amongst the strongest feedback we have from the roadshow, and I'm delighted that we are providing this. Next on the feedback list from you all is the desire of members to transition to the Yes campaign, which will bring together all supporters of independence. So the SNP, obviously, other parties, and people who have not yet been involved in party politics but want to help secure a historic Yes vote. I'm happy to confirm that we are working towards a Yes campaign launch shortly after the local government elections. There will be a dedicated campaign structure at national level, providing materials, coordinating activities, research and resources. There will be local campaigns directing grassroots activities from district level to town and community level. There will also be sectoral campaigns bringing together people with particular interests, including Business for Independence, Trade Unionists for Independence, Artists for Independence, Veterans for Independence, Youth for Independence, Women for Independence, Senior Citizens for Independence, and many, many more. We'll be using cutting-edge IT and communications technology to run the most effective campaign in Scottish political history. There will be a top-spec, web-based shopfront for the Yes campaign. The website will be there for people to sign up to the campaign. It will direct people very easily to campaign materials, to details about campaign activities at a local level, and reference material for all. Our campaign data management system, Activate, is being updated as we speak for the referendum to help us maintain the most focused, targeted, efficient, and effective campaign possible. Updated smartphone technology will allow seamless campaigning with GPS positioning and Activate access, allowing us to keep ahead of the competition. All of these innovations are important, but they will not replace the most important element of all in the campaign, which is the involvement of record numbers of ordinary people around the country. This will be a campaign for everybody, regardless of which party they support, regardless of where people come from. This is about our collective future and future generations. I encourage everybody to join. Together we will change the country for the better. Already, in parallel to campaigning for the local government elections, we are working on an outreach programme constituency by constituency. At the present time, local members, local councillors and council candidates are working with our parliamentarians to identify and communicate with key people in every sector of community life. One example of where this has been happening in recent weeks is Dundee. And to explain what has been happening there is Dundee East MP Stuart Hosey. Stuart.
What Angus gently forgot to tell you, of course, is that what he calls phase 1 of the outreach programme means every single constituency has to identify and reach out to 500 key opinion formers in their constituency. That's community groups, volunteer groups, minority communities, youth groups and businesses. That's 500 in every constituency, in addition to the normal canvassing in phase 1. We started with the business community. We sent out 300 letters, invite letters. Short notice, Monday night, more than 10% confirmed. More turned up on the night, and that was a good thing because we were able to get a message across to them and, more importantly, engage properly and take their questions. There was a short presentation, it was a nice venue, and plenty of time to hear what they had to say. And unsurprisingly, many of the concerns they had were the same concerns the general public has, because it's what they've been told. So we were able to confirm, no, in fact, we do not have an economy like North Korea. In fact, 77% of our workforce are in the private sector. They asked, how will we survive without the subsidy? And we were able to say to them, well, with 8.4% of the UK population, we provide 9.6% of all the taxes, and there is no subsidy. They asked how we can pay our way. How could we do all of these good things with a tax system that business wants to see when we're in the condition we're in? So we're able to explain the condition we are in is a better fiscal position every year for the past 6 years in the UK as a whole, more net surplus years than the UK as a whole going back decades, and of course all of this underpinned by £1.5 trillion of oil and gas wealth sitting off the North Sea in Scottish territorial waters. And all of this information is available. There's a very short slideshow, a script, and a draft invite letter. It's already been sent to every MP and to every MSP. I've updated it already after JERS was released last week. It will be resent to every MP and MSP this week. Now, I know delegates. The MPs, the MSPs, working with their councillors and their office bearers, are in advanced planning stages for all of their meetings with businesses, community groups and others. I'll say that again because it wasn't actually a question. You're all in an advanced planning stage for all the outreach meetings you have to do. There's nothing to be afraid about. I might even provide a question and answer sheet. These meetings work because, as Angus said, people want to engage. And they want to engage with a positive message and with a compelling narrative, particularly businesses, so that we can say it's not just about control of the fiscal levers for your businesses to do well, to make a profit and to employ more people. It's about control of the fiscal levers to deliver prosperity for everybody. That's what independence is about. So the material is there. I know some of you have seen it because you've said so. It's all branded up. It'll be reworked and resent tomorrow. And I want to hear the feedback about how your business meetings go, because that community are engaged, open, want to listen, are very responsive indeed to what we have to say. So with that compelling narrative and that positive message, get to work.
Thank you very much, Stuart. This is one of the many examples of good practice from around the country, and it is exactly how we're going to work across Scotland in the run-up to the referendum, from Shetland to Galloway, from Stornoway to Eyemouth. So my message to all of you delegates is, please go back to your local area and make sure we are doing everything we can to be as effective as possible. At your first meeting, when you return to your branch or constituency, please make a stock take. Ask yourselves the following questions. What is the status of your local referendum plans and activities? How far are you with your sectoral outreach plans? How are you integrating these efforts with the local government elections? How much voter and referendum ID information has been gathered and entered into Activate? Have you held a roadshow event? How will you support the Yes campaign when it is launched? What are we doing to properly welcome and integrate our many, many new and enthusiastic members? In conclusion, colleagues, this is it. This is it. We're off and running. It's a long race for Scotland's future. We have been in training for a long time, and we are pacing ourselves. But this is the most important democratic campaign in Scotland ever. There are a great many colleagues who are no longer here who worked extremely hard for us to have this historic opportunity. And there are future generations who will be eternally grateful for this campaign, which we are all a part of. Let's make this the best campaign ever. I don't know about you, but I am extremely excited about this historic opportunity to transform Scotland for the better. So together, let's make it happen. Thank you very much.